Hello and welcome to the first in a series of videos that introduces the High Streets Task Force Footfall Dashboard and how it can support you to understand and manage your high street. My name is Matthew Davis. I'm the Communications Lead for the Task Force, and I'll be taking you through how to access your dashboard and navigate the various data and views within it. If you have any technical issues or you have a question that isn't addressed by this or other videos in the series, please contact info@highstreetstaskforce.org. Before we start, as a reminder, there are two types of dashboard available. You'll either be provided with an advanced or a standard dashboard. Advanced dashboards use actual footfall data collected by Springboard cameras if you have them in your location. Advanced dashboards will display and enable you to work with 2021 data and any previous year's data from your Springboard records. It will only show actual footfall data, no estimates. Standard dashboards use estimated footfall data. By taking the population within 3 miles of your location, the dashboard has estimated your footfall levels, comparing this to a national Springboard data and using a calculation to produce a guide for you, a benchmark in essence, something that you can use as a starting point. However, if you want to get a much more accurate insight into footfall patterns and volumes in your high street, we recommend that you conduct your own manual footfall counts and upload this data to your dashboard. We'll be covering all of this in our second video of the series. But first of all, we're going to move on to the dashboard itself, and we're going to show you how to log into and navigate your account. If you've already requested a dashboard and believe you should have received your login details but you haven't done already, please contact info@highstreetstaskforce.org. Once you've received your login, visit dashboard.placemanagement.org and enter your username and password, then click Sign In. When you've signed in, you should see this home screen. It contains social media data related to your location, and we'll come back to this later in the video. First, we're going to introduce each of the options in the blue left-hand menu, which will display different aspects of your footfall data. In the left-hand menu, select the Analytics option to display the various screens and footfall data available to you. The first view we're going to cover is Footfall. When you select this screen, it displays footfall data in yearly, monthly, weekly, and single-day views. The filter at the top right of the graph area can be used to change between each of these views. By default, year is selected, and here you can see a total footfall volume estimate for each month of 2021. What we're showing you here is a standard dashboard, so you can see estimated data right through to December 2021. If you have an advanced dashboard, you'll see this view by default. All is selected in the filter, and it shows the range of historic footfall data available here from 2017 to the present. So any of that can be selected using the date range picker. You can select the year option to display footfall from 2021 only or from other previous years. Moving back to the standard dashboard now, I've selected month in the filter, and you can see the view has switched to show January broken down into its 31 days with a total daily footfall count on each day. If you want to change the time period selected, you can do so in the date picker. The date on the left is when you want to start viewing data, and on the right is the end date of the period that you want to view. Next, if you click the week option, the graph will shift to show named days of the week from the time period selected. And just to note, by default, if you move from the year view to a week view, it will show you the first week of 2021, which, as you can see here, includes 5 days from the end of 2020. And for standard dashboards, these days may have no data unless you gained access to a dashboard in that year. So here I've selected a week in August in the date picker, and you can see the view changes and I can see total footfall on each day of the week. Remember, if you're using a standard dashboard, this is an estimate. For advanced dashboards, you'll see the actual footfall counted on each day. Finally, here I've changed to a day view, and now the x-axis has changed to show hours of that day, and it breaks down footfall across each. So here there's a peak towards the mid-afternoon, which then decreases into the evening. Next, we're going to move on to the daily footfall analysis option. This view, when you select daily footfall in the analytics menu, allows you to look at a specific day across 52 weeks of the year to understand how footfall varies on that specific day of the week. For standard dashboards, it's important again to remember that this is estimated data, so it's unlikely to match the exact patterns that are specific to your town. For example, if you have a very active nighttime economy. However, this view and some of the other more detailed analysis will become more useful in the coming months as you add manual footfall counts and later receive a calibrated set of footfall estimates. And we'll share more about that process in future videos in this series. So you can see that 1 to 52 are the week numbers on the x-axis, with the footfall volume shown on the y-axis. Here I've changed the view by selecting Monday in the menu in the top right. For dashboards that include multiple camera locations, the graph will display these different data sets in a split bar chart format using different colours. You can also see the camera in the key at the top of the plot area here, just the one orange colour being shown in the key. Next, we're going to move on to the Compare Footfall option. When you select Compare Footfall in the Analytics menu, you may be met with a screen like this one. This is because the dashboard is looking to compare 2021 with 2022, for which we don't have any data yet. So if we choose a date range in the date picker at the top of the graph, here I've chosen all the days in January to compare to all the days in July. And I have selected the month view, which plots each day of that month. You can see both selections are plotted against each other for comparison, and a variance is displayed on the x-axis. Lastly, on this screen, I can choose to group the data by day, selecting the Group by Day option in the graph's top right menu. So on the previous comparison, we compared absolute dates, the first with the first, etc. But of course, if one of those days is a Saturday and the other a Wednesday, the comparison is not a fair one, or indeed very useful, unless you're looking at moving specific events. So here we keep the day consistent and just compare them to each other, noting the different dates on the x-axis. So Wednesday the 4th of March compares to Wednesday the 1st of July, and so on. Next, we'll move on to day and night economies analysis. This analysis option looks at the split in footfall volume between day, evening, and night economies. Here you can see the year view with the total of each month split out as per the key. So the majority of footfall from the daytime economy, as you would expect. And again, this is estimated data, so the patterns of footfall are approximate, but based on national averages. However, it's useful to know how to break down and analyse footfall, particularly for future use, when you may have more accurate estimate data uploaded to your dashboard. And you can change the settings of the day, evening and night hours by selecting Configure Economy Times in the top right. This is mostly relevant at this point for those with advanced dashboards, allowing you to mark actual footfall data into daytime, evening and nighttime economies that reflect your area of interest. Moving on, we'll now look at the Map and Events Log functionality. When selecting this option, you'll be able to view a map displaying your camera locations, either real cameras if you have Springboard technology, or locations you've provided for the task force to estimate footfall for. Here you can choose to view footfall data alongside the map if that's useful, particularly where you have multiple footfall cameras. You can also choose to add an event log, essentially a note to record when significant events have taken place that could be expected to affect footfall, such as local markets or festivals, for example. Lastly, we'll turn to the social media analysis that is available via the home screen of your dashboard, which is there to complement your understanding of local activity and of what businesses are doing to draw in footfall. 5 measures are shown here, taking in data supplied by one of our task force consortium partners, Maybe. This data is from stakeholders posting social media content within your location, and this section displays information on the popularity of certain hashtags being used, how active your stakeholders are on social media, which platforms they're using, and examples of the posts that are receiving the highest levels of engagement. Some of the measures also have a filter which you can switch to toggle between content from national chains and from independent and local organisations. You can find more information about each of these social media measures by clicking on the exclamation mark icon at the top of each one. Most of these pop-up help windows include a video explanation from Polly Barnfield OBE, founder and CEO of Maybe. And with that social media information, that brings us to the end of this first Footfall Dashboard video. In the next video, we'll be exploring how you can add your own footfall count data to your dashboard and keep a track of your COVID-19 recovery. Thanks very much for watching.